What is going on, guys? It's Wraith here, back with another video. Now, I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in the past couple days, and the reason for that is I'm actually getting new Wi-Fi in my house, because playing in the online tournament qualifiers for World Cup is not too fun when I'm at 45 to 50 ping and people are against me are at 0 to 10 ping. Definitely a little bit of a disadvantage, but yeah, so I'm getting that fixed, and that's the reason I wasn't able to upload. But we're getting right back on the grind, and don't worry, I'll try my best to start uploading again consistently. And also, for those of you that follow me on Instagram, I'm going to start posting more again. I kind of took a little break, and if you don't follow me on there, make sure you follow me in the description down below. But let's get right into this video. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about picking basically the right keyboard and mouse and tips for actually switching to keyboard and mouse from console, or if you're just starting the game, whatever. I'm going to be going through a couple tips and kind of explaining to you guys how to get good quickly and how to actually find the right kind of instruments, I guess you could say, for you. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is picking the right keyboard and the right mouse, which is actually extremely important. And no, don't just look up Ninja's keyboard and mouse and be like, okay, I'm getting that one, or don't just look up Mongrel's and be like, okay, I'm getting both of those. Trust me, not the way to do it. I know one of my buddies made that mistake and he ended up hating the mouse that he got. So yeah, it's very, very important to actually go what you like, and I'll try my best to help you guys figure out what you like right now. The first thing I'm going to talk about is keyboards are not that different between the cheaper ones and the expensive ones. As long as they're mechanical, they're pretty similar. Obviously, you don't want to be getting those school keyboards that are absolutely trash, but mechanical is pretty important. But there's not that much difference between price ranges. Yet when it comes to mouses, price range actually does matter, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, it's very, very important to actually look about what you're buying and pay attention to what you actually want and what you need. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is mouses, and right off the bat, I know some of you guys see those mouses with like 10-15 buttons, you're like, oh my god, those look so cool. But I recommend not getting one of those. Some people still like it, like Daquan and other players, even my buddy Ralph Boy, he really enjoys his 10 piece. I'm pretty sure he has one, I'm 99.9% sure. But yeah, they definitely really enjoy it and they like it, but normally you don't want mouses like that. That's more towards League of Legends. That's where that mouse became big, and all those 10 to 12 button mouses became big. But in Fortnite, you kind of really only want 2 to 5 mouse buttons. You don't really need that many unless you're going to be running everything on your mouse, which you definitely don't want to be doing. It's pretty important to only have 2 to 5 mouse selection buttons, and for me, I have 5, but I only really use 2 of them. I use 3 technically, but I only actually really use 2, and they're both my build binds. But yeah, so I recommend getting something like a 2 to 5 button mouse. You don't really need the ones with 10 to 15. Obviously, if you like that, get that, but that's just what I recommend. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is get wired, not wireless. If you're talking about the older mices, there's definitely some new mouses. Is it mices or mouses? I don't know. I'm going to switch between the two. I have no idea. But basically, Logitech released a couple of good wireless mouses right now, and I don't know, I've never tried one. Again, if you're really looking in the wireless side, I'd recommend getting one of those. Not one of the old wireless, because sometimes they have a little bit of input lag between the game and actual mouse. It might not have the quickest response time, and it might actually have a little bit of lag frequency between the mouse and the keyboard, or the mouse and the game. I know the new ones probably don't have any, but I don't really trust them, so I recommend getting wired. But yeah, pretty important, get wired. Unless you're going with a high-end wireless mouse, then it's probably all good. Now, I'd recommend a lighter mouse because it's a little bit easier to move around. Now, there are a couple mouses that weigh a ton, especially the cheaper ones, like $40 mouses. For some reason, I don't know how it's possible, because a cheaper one you'd think would have less components, but they're super heavy. I'd recommend, if you're going all out and you actually want to improve, or even if you want to spend a little bit of money, not that much, I'd recommend spending more on the mouse than the keyboard. And yeah, it's super important to get a quick, nice, easy mouse that's not too heavy, because you don't want to be lugging around a like absolute heavy object the entire time, especially if you're gaming for a good amount of time. For example, that's why the Ninja Final mouse is so popular, because it's one of the lightest mouses made, and it's so light that tons of people just love it. So a couple of mice options you can use are the Logitech G402, which is the one I use. I absolutely love it. I have no complaints about it. The Ninja Final mouse, which are pretty hard to get and get pretty costly. Like, they start adding up, but again, that's your opinion. If you want to spend a little bit more money and get that one, that's on you. Then there's also the Razor Death Eater or Adder and the Steel Series Rival 700. And if none of those options kind of you like, or whatever, you look them up and you don't like them, just look up top gaming mouses of 2019 for Fortnite, and you'll see a tons and tons of lists of them, just top 10, top 15s, top 20, and you can kind of pick one that works for you. Now let's talk about keyboards for a second. And like I said, 100% you want a mechanical one. When I first got a PC and when I first switched over to keyboard and mouse, I had one of these crappy $30 keyboards, and it wasn't mechanical, and it was not fun at all to play on. It was rough, and I knew right away I needed a new keyboard. And now the big trend right now is 60 or 75% keyboards, which I personally love. I got a 60% one, and I think Tfue is the one who made it pretty big that people started noticing. And the reason people go for the 60 and 75% ones is because it just gives more mouse room, and if you have a small desk, it's way easier, and it's kind of small and condensed instead of those huge normal ones with the extra numbers and everything like that. It kind of gets a little bit big, but there's still tons of players that play on the big ones, for example Mr. Savage and Mongrel. But again, it all kind of comes down to what you want. If you don't have a big desk space, I recommend the 60-75%. Or if you like it the way it looks, like I love the way it just looks, and it's so clean. It's like small, nice. You can add keybinds super easily. That's why I personally got it, and I've loved it ever since. But again, it's all up to you. Now, a couple good keyboards that I recommend is one is the Ducky One Mini, and that's the one that Tfue has. And also the N Pro, I'm pretty sure, is also 60% one. Now, back for the normal ones, I recommend the Corsair K95 RGB Platinum or the Logitech G413. Those are both two full-size keyboards that are super popular. And again, same things with the mouse. If you don't really like any of those suggestions, you can just look it up online, top 10 gaming keyboards of 2019 for Fortnite, or you can look at streamers and kind of look to see which one you actually like the most. And you can always go to a store like Best Buy or wherever you're from and just try out a couple keyboards. They have some gaming ones, and see which one you like. They don't normally have 60% ones, so I guess you can buy one and return it if you don't like it, but again, it all kind of comes up to you. Now, talking about keybinds for a second, keybinds are obviously super important, and you want to find one that works for you. And just like keyboard and mouse, or mices, frick, that's really irritating me the entire time. I don't know what it's called. But just like keyboard and mouses, basically you don't want to just copy a streamer. Now, obviously you can copy a little bit of them. For example, what I did was I copied Tfue's and Mongrel's, and then I kind of, like, whatever they did, I kind of put my own twist onto it. So for example, if they had it as F, their editing bind, I change it to G, whatever, right? Mine's F, but I'm just saying for example. So I'd say you can copy a couple streamers. Don't just copy Ninja or Tfue because he's your favorite player and you don't have any idea if those are the keybinds you like. But try a couple and see which ones you like the best for the first week. See which you kind of like. I tried Tfue's and Mongrel's and mixed them, and I was like, hey, this looks good. I don't know, it seems all pretty easy. And then a couple keybinds were hard to hit for me, or I didn't enjoy having them there, so I just switched them around. Super easy once you actually kind of figure out what you want. And again, when you first switch over, it's not a big deal if you have to look down at your keyboard, or you can't build as good as you did on console, or whatever the reason, right? Obviously, you're not going to be that good. It's your first time. You got to build up the muscle memory, and the way to do that is just grinding Fortnite. You can either do that by playing games, playing creative, 1v1ing your friends. Like I said, 1v1ing is a super good way to improve quickly and actually get used to your keybinds. But yeah, there's tons of things that you can do, but the first thing I'd recommend is say just play the game, and trust me, you will get used to your keybinds. It just might take a little bit of time. Like for me, it took around a month, almost 2 months, to get completely 100% fine with my keybinds being able to look super clean, not having to look down every single time I want to place like a floor or something like that. But yeah, it's super important. Find the right keybinds for you. Once you find them, try not to switch unless it's like a small switch or it's actually super beneficial. But yeah, once you figure out a good set of keybinds, you don't really want to be switching around every couple days or even every like 2 weeks. You don't want to be switching around, because again, it's all about muscle memory. It's about training your brain to know exactly where to press for what button and when you need it. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like I say all so much, because you guys are huge support and I love you guys, is thank you so much for the support. It's been unbelievable recently, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video just as much as the other ones, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.